Hi, VNC family. Welcome to episode 6 of Voices and Choices. I'm your host, Benny, and I'm here with my brother, my co-host,
Kelly Kels with 3 L's. If it ain't, you know it's a catfish, buddy.
Our topic of discussion today is the hustle dilemma: suits versus startups.
Suits versus startups.
Yeah. And our guest here today is Leah.
Hi everybody, my name is Leah. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
You're welcome.
It's been a long time coming, and I haven't seen you guys in such a in a while.
Yeah.
So crazy that this is where we decided to have our little reunion, but so happy to be here still.
Good to have you.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, before we get into our episode, we'd just like to extend our thanks to all our viewers, friends, family, and everybody who's been supporting us from the start up until now. And for those who are joining us, please welcome to Voices and Choices. And don't forget to share, subscribe, and tell people about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Great.
Okay.
Love to see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Since Ben has introduced the topic, which is the hustle dilemma, suits versus startups, before we delve into the conversation, we'll just start by asking how each one of us is doing. So, Leah, how have you been? Wow.
Exactly.
The sigh.
Exactly. It's like a sigh of relief because I'm with my friends, but it's a sigh of relief because how am I doing?
Yeah.
Guys, adulting, hey?
Tell me about
When
it.
I tell you guys, like adulting, sometimes I can't believe that I actually prayed for this, but nonetheless, I feel very blessed to, be in a space where I am right now. Like looking back, I do see how these are definitely the things that I prayed about. And it's like, God said, yeah,
Nice.
you're here. But now it's like, okay, maybe sometimes I'm a little overwhelmed, but I think I'm good overall. How are you guys? How are you, Benny?
I'm great. Obviously, adulting doing its thing, but
Of course.
we can't complain anymore. I think it's something we have to embrace and accept the growth. Yeah. Aside from that, I think I'm doing great. How are you doing, Kelly?
I think I'm okay. Like, I share everyone's sentiments about adulting. But yeah, happy that we're here. I'm grateful that we're here still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think while we're talking about how we've been, I think it's important for us to look at how the past 6 months have been. Like for me personally, the past 6 months have been flippant. Like one day you don't know how the day will go.
Yeah.
The next day you're grateful for everything that's happening. So the last 6 months for me, I would term them as just me visibly seeing the hand of God evident in most of the things that I'm doing. And even in those that I don't see God, I know He's evident there.
Yeah.
How have your 6 months been there?
I think I usually start off my year with a lot of like prayer and fasting. I'm so grateful that church does that. So I think each time I start my year, I'm very, very optimistic, because I know that the year is very long. So I like to take it in like quarters. I think the first quarter was very easy breezy, you wouldn't think it would be, but it was very easy breezy. It was, so I had started helping out with my mom's business. So that was like, it took a little bit of adjusting because I have a full-time job, but then I was helping out with something that my mom's passionate about. So it was like very easy at first to navigate. Then the last 3 months, guys, I've crashed out. I've crashed out maybe twice, 3 times in like the last 3 months. And I think that just shows you what adulting is, especially in adulting in corporate and trying to be basically an entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah.
It's very nobody really teaches you or nobody tells you that these are the things to expect. But overall, I think they've been great learning points. And my business partner is here. You guys can't see her, but she's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, sincerest apologies for that delay in video. We had some background noise, so we decided to start over again. Leah, you were talking about how you've been.
Yeah, so I think I was somewhere around
About your
crashing
business,
out, and
crashing out in the business
crashing
partner,
out at entrepreneurship. But as I was saying, I'm here with my business partner. She's behind the scenes, but this girl has really waving. But yeah, like she's really helped. She's helped in how I structure my life, how I structure my day to day, especially with having a 9 to 5, and then also trying to grow something, because I think right now, one job is not enough.
Real.
Neither is one side hustle, guys. Can we talk about that? It's not enough.
We definitely will. We definitely will.
Yeah. So, but I'm grateful. Like, I think it's been a good 6 months. Well, now it's like 7, but it's been a good first half of the year.
Okay.
I've enjoyed it. I've learned, and I think it's only up from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Benny.
Yeah, my 6 months has been busy. Like I say, my first quarter of the year is most of the time that's demanding for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but it crossed over into the second quarter, which required me to apply myself even more. And during that period, I learned the necessity of rest, because my body, yeah, like you said, you crashed out here and there. I did crash out here and there. My body communicated, say, you have to rest, you know. So yeah, I think overall my year has been good, applying myself and just getting ready and enjoying the rest of the quarter.
No, beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful to see that across each one of us.
Yeah.
Despite the hurdles that we're talking about, the crashing out and everything, there is an ounce of gratitude towards where we are now. And I think that's what's important. So Leah, before we delve into the topic again, would want to know a few things. You get it? I mean, of course, our topic is about suits and startups. So we're talking about entrepreneurship and what it's like to be in the corporate sector. We'll look at the differences and we'll demystify some of the myths that are there. But before we go there, what's your story? Like, how did you land your corporate job? And if you want, in the current 9 to 5 that you have, do you think you would have an alternative thing?
Okay. That's deep. That's deep. So I don't know. Let me do like maybe a quick background. So I know these guys from school.
Oh.
Yeah. So I know these guys from school. Exactly. So I know you guys from school. Yeah, I think CBU was pretty good. I remember first year of school, I was just happy to be there, guys. I always said I didn't want to be, I didn't want to be the student that, let me say, breaks their back. I really wanted to be there for the entire experience. So I enjoyed the learning. I enjoyed making friends. I enjoyed the classes. I even enjoyed the exams.
Oh,
like for me, exam time is when I had the best series to watch. Exactly.
That's her. Like, I didn't.
Exactly. So, like, for me, I was there for the entire experience. And then after CBU, I think I would genuinely like to be honest and say I didn't apply myself enough. When we were in third year, I remember people applying for internships. I don't know where my head was at the time. I think I had like a few health issues, so maybe my head wasn't there. But I remember now thinking maybe I should have applied myself. Because what happened is I don't even work in, so my degree is in purchasing and supply. I don't even work in purchasing and supply. So I work in comms. Basically, but it's an integrated marketing and communications agency. So, I feel maybe had I applied myself more, I would have ended up in purchasing and supply, because then, the process of internship, then you get a job through your internship, but I didn't do that. So immediately after graduation, which was 2022, my mom said, okay, you know what, you've been in Kitwe for a long time. What about exploring other options? So she says, maybe since you don't have a job now, maybe enroll for your master's. I said, okay, again, let me go with the flow. School I found very easy for me, so I said, okay, let me go with the flow. So I went to UNZA. I think a month after graduation is when I started my master's at UNZA. And I'll say that that's been like the best 3 years of learning of my life. Because I discovered so much. That's how I got into entrepreneurship and liking entrepreneurship. Because then even where I started working afterwards, they realized I had a very keen interest in research. So the research that we started doing was very focused on job creation. And then I started doing my thesis around, entrepreneurs, so SMEs in Zambia. So that really did inform my love for entrepreneurship and just seeing some of the gaps that actually exist right now. So basically that's my story, and that's how come I'm like all for job creation. I'm all for inclusivity. That one's like close to my heart.
Oh.
I'm also all for inclusivity. I'm thinking, maybe do I go back to school? Do I do some research on inclusivity in the workplace or whatever? So that's basically a very short narration of how I'm here.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Say you didn't, because I know when we're going into uni, sometimes we've got a wide range of careers that we want to pursue. Say you didn't do your purchasing and supply degree at the Copperbelt University, what other career path would you have taken?
I wanted to be a doctor, guys.
Really? Nice.
I wanted to be a pediatric surgeon.
Wow.
But surgery on babies, pediatrics.
Bye.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, pediatrics.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching like Dr. 90210. Like I liked seeing people cut people up. Like I found that very interesting. But then reality sunk in. I'm bad at sciences, guys. I'm so bad. Like I couldn't even get through chemistry in high school. Couldn't. So hence I'm here. I realized maybe I'm more numbers, and so maybe let's stick to the numbers, and maybe let's stick to the words. Let's not stick to like the sciences.
Okay, that's good, Ben. If you want an accountant or an auditor, what would you?
I think I'm doing what I would have been doing. I think just on a larger scale. I think I would have been doing something media related or sound related. I think I would have pushed that on a larger scale.
Maybe
so I think my free time, we just have to work on the free time. When we work on the free time, I think we'll push it even harder. And what about you, Kelly?
I think for me, prior to doing the business course that I did at CBU, I always wanted to be. I had three options. Business was the last one. I wanted to be either a civil engineer or I wanted to study law. One of either. So I think now I'm still passionate about understanding the law because, like, granted, when you're in a tough situation, you need to know how to interpret the law. So I think if I wasn't in business, in the era of business, I would definitely take. That was a beautiful summary of the 6 months and alternative careers that we would have pursued if given an option. I think we can now delve into the body of the topic. Which is the hustle dilemma, suits versus startups. So like we earlier stated, suits is basically referring to the corporate 9 to 5. Startups is referring to entrepreneurship. So we just wanted to come up with a bougie title that you all can relate with. So before we go into the topic, across each one of us, how do we define entrepreneurship? So you can define entrepreneurship, then you can also define how you perceive a corporate space. Benny?
Okay, I think entrepreneurship is, or let me define an entrepreneur. I run away from it and define entrepreneur. I think an entrepreneur is a person who is a vision carrier, who bears the risk, and they usually start and manage more of a business venture in order to earn profit at the end of it all. I think a corporate person is an individual who's working in a structured environment, which provides stability, and their roles are more defined. I think that's how I would define a corporate person. Leah, how would you define entrepreneurship?
See, now I want to piggyback off of what you said, because I would start by defining an entrepreneur. It's definitely somebody that is innovative. It's somebody that sees a gap and wants to fill the gap in the market. And obviously, every business exists to make money. I don't think we are all trying to start, our side hustles, as we call them, just so people could say, oh yeah, no, she has a side hustle. So an entrepreneur is somebody that's definitely innovative and somebody that's willing to fill a space, because some spaces are already, like the market is already full, but they're bored enough to fill a certain market and to make their presence known and to also just carry the mantle of whatever it is that space is about. And then, as you said, a corporate 9 to 5 person is definitely someone that's in a very well structured organization. So this is an organization that provides you a lot of security. This is an organization that provides well-defined roles, so you already know what to do. You know, when you come in on Monday at 8 a.m., I clock in at 9, thank God. You know, so when you clock in at like 8, 9, you already know what it is that you have to do. You know, you're going to have your meetings at this time. You know, so again, it's just, corporate is just more well-structured, because this, again, for me, I look at it as somebody started the organization as, you know, an entrepreneur, and they just grew it and made it into something that people can come and find security.
Okay, so to avoid redundancy, I won't speak into how I define an entrepreneur, right? Because you guys have rightfully put entrepreneurship or an entrepreneur as a person that starts a business, grows a business in hopes to start to gain profit or generate revenue whatsoever, right? Then you've talked about how the corporate world is a structured place. So what I get from our discussion is the differences between the two. So I think before we discuss the next point, it's important to understand why we came up with a topic. So we came up with a topic because of the myths that exist between people in the academic space and people that are entrepreneurs. One set of people think they're better than the other set of people think they're better than the other. So here we're just trying to either be for or against the notion. So the question around the convictions and the critique is, do you think entrepreneurship is overrated or misunderstood by corporate professionals? Why or why not? So we can tackle anyone.
Do you want to start?
Go ahead, you're a guest.
Oh, okay. Oh, privileges. I genuinely think entrepreneurship is misunderstood.
Okay.
Because remember, as I said, even, let me give an example of a bank or a hospital or whatever bigger business is more structured right now. All those things really start with a vision. They start out small. I don't think there's anything that just, you know, like it just landed and it was big. So this is something that started with one person or maybe two people, and they grew it to become a thing that, or become a place that provides structure and security. So for us going into corporate, we actually don't understand the nuances of how the organizations we work for started. Because they did start as a smaller business. You know, so I feel the problem is we are equally not encouraging entrepreneurs to think in a magnitude of, okay, I've started this. It could be a corporate. It could be something that creates a 9 to 5. So for me, if you're an entrepreneur, and you shame somebody with a 9 to 5, for me, that tells me you are not willing to employ someone to do a 9 to 5 for you. For me, it shows me you want to be a one-man army, you know, because then that doesn't make sense. Because the whole point of entrepreneurship is, we got that there.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, because the whole point of entrepreneurship is you want it to grow to make as much profit as possible. You can only make that much profit if you have people. And, you know, these people will need structure and they'll need security. So the very thing that you are actually shaming people with 9 to 5s for, that's what you want to create. So for me, it doesn't make sense. You know, because you want to create that environment where you have 5 employees. You want them to clock in at 8 and to leave at 5. Because then if you don't want that, then I don't know, it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to work.
I get it.
So I think we need to understand the balance. I think we need to equally give each other grace and just maybe surround ourselves with people that are diverse, so we understand where they're coming from and we understand what it is that they do. So
Benny, riding off what Leah has stated, do you think a corporate 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship are mutually exclusive?
No, I don't think they're mutually exclusive, right? Because the moments where they can overlap, you know, it's not like just because somebody is in a whole setup of maybe a 9 to 5, they can't operate on a business. I think the major constraint that's there is most times when you're working on a daily, if you're 9 to 5, you're getting some skill or some knowledge which you might use to start your own business. So the only major constraint that's there is the time one and the conflict of interest. So you find that if you're spending so much time in a 9 to 5 and that skill and knowledge you're getting, that's what you're going to use to do your business. So if you can't find yourself in that space because of conflict of interest, you'll be limited. Okay. But overall, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. You know, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, I like the points that Leah has brought out about if you're an entrepreneur, obviously entrepreneurship is referred to as, an entrepreneur is basically someone that starts off a startup, right?
Yeah.
So if you're starting up a company, the end goal of that company is obviously, if you're visionary and you've got a mission for it, is obviously for it to grow to the likes of the Apples, the banks, the Zanakos, Stanchart, Absa, and whatever, right? So that's your goal. So I think on the entrepreneur side, if you're shaming a 9-to-5 job, it's like it's a lack of vision, or maybe it's a misunderstanding of what your vision is about, because eventually you're an entrepreneur for job creation, right? And then in the corporate space as well, if you're shaming entrepreneurs, you're also lacking the toolkit that helps you generate jobs for other people using the skill set that you're getting, right? Are they mutually exclusive? I agree with you, Ben. I don't think they're mutually exclusive, right? I don't think they're mutually exclusive. But I think the necessary question when we're having this interaction is, where do you think these myths come from? Because yes, there are no statistics, like outright statistics to prove that, okay, 90% of people do this, 10% don't believe in that, but it's inferred through conversations. When you speak to entrepreneurs, they'll act like, why are you working 9 to 5, right? When you speak to the 9 to 5 guys, are like, there's no stability in entrepreneurship, you get it? I mean, so where do we think this comes from? Like the whole ideology of entrepreneurship is this, corporate is this.
I genuinely think both groups have, I'm sorry to say this, I think they both have like more of a superiority complex. Everybody wants to be the best, or to feel like what they're doing, that's the best that's there. You know, and understandably.
Granted.
Granted, if I'm in a 9 to 5, I would like to believe that this is the best.
The right thing.
Exactly, like this is the best place that I could be at. So hearing somebody telling me, no, why do you have a 9 to 5? Why do you keep going to school? Why this? For me, instantly, I will be on defense. Because like, oh, okay, so I will then start to poke out smaller things in entrepreneurship. You know, someone will tell you, an entrepreneur would say maybe, oh, you know that, you know, you, like an entrepreneur can make 30K over a weekend. Then I will rebuttal and say, but do you know how much Mizinga Melo makes in a month? I will rebuttal and say, I'm very sure some of the rooms that she would walk in, you as a startup can walk in them. Why? Because she has occupied a position that was made, you know, a position that's very well structured. So she knows what she's walking into. So this position comes with a lot of privileges. As a startup, your vision should be to get to a level where you are at the likes of Mizinga Melo. You are, you know, at those likes where you can walk into a room and you have certain privileges and people acknowledge your presence. And that only happens if you have impact. So if you don't have impact, people really don't care. You know, you could have a business that's big, you know, you could own a shop and you're making, you know, good money. But if people can't feel the impact, people don't care. We speak about the guy that Young Feroz. We speak about him because he's clearly showing us impact, because he's employing the youth. And that basically is what entrepreneurship is supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be about job creation. It's not supposed to be, is entrepreneurship better than having a corporate job? Because if you're, again, what Kelly said, if you're a visionary, you want to actually create corporate jobs for people. And for me, that's really where my head's at when it comes to this conversation.
I get your chat, Ben.
I think based off what Leah said, I think that's a good way of bringing about it, because being an entrepreneur, you are setting more of a system where people can tap into. And obviously the people in the 9 to 5 or the corporate space come work within that system. So job creation is one key point from that. I think the other thing I would pick on why there's this battle between, I think, culture, looking at where we're coming from. Most times people who are taken to be entrepreneurs or businessmen or business people, they're taken to be people that have failed at academics or maybe something more streamlined like 9 to 5, you know. So
Or
I think
school
that's
dropouts.
where, because most times we've got people that make it, or once dropouts, and they make it out there. So in that, it shows to say, I think for you to be an entrepreneur or a business person, you have to drop out, you know.
Yeah.
So all that brings tension here and there, but it's not every dropout that makes it, you know. But it does happen. It depends
Yeah.
on the ambition and
Yes.
the will that you have. But ultimately, I think I'll put it on culture, the way we people think that, you know, if someone is doing a business, then they've actually failed at academics or at school or something more defined, like, you know, a 9 to 5. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I'll bring in the
like
discussion.
that. I like that. Like I really resonate with what you're saying. It really doesn't mean you failed at either one. For me, I think sometimes it's even the system that's failed us.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs that I know right now, these are people that have their degrees.
Yeah.
These are people that went to college, they went to university, but they couldn't find a job. So they had to resort to using their
Circumstances, yeah.
skills. And so for me, I'm very proud that, you know what, they didn't wait for somebody to create employment. They are the people that want to create employment for the next person.
Okay.
So it really isn't even about whether you're good at school or not.
Yeah.
It's just about what can you do with everything that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really nice. And Kelly, what do you think what's your take on why we have this tension or, you know, difference between the two parties?
I think rightfully put, right, it's culture. But I think another thing is domestication, right? Like how we are brought up. Like for me, I grew up in a home where all my siblings are academic oriented.
Yeah.
So like even as I'm growing, my mom's chat or my dad isn't think of a business idea. It's like top your brother's straight A's or top your brother's B's or C's or whatever it is. You get what I mean? So even when you're growing up, your ideology about how life unravels is academically, right?
Yeah.
And going to culture, just to speak into what you were saying,
even
from an adult point of view where you need to make adult decisions. Say you want to get married. Two people are in a space, right? One goes to a parent and says, I want your daughter's hand in marriage. What do you do? I have a mobile phone booth in town and I'm an entrepreneur. The perception of the parents will be like, this person isn't worth our daughter's time, right? But then say a person in a suit working a 9 to 5 well-known bank or well-known engineering firm goes to a home and asks for the daughter's hand in marriage. It's celebratory. Like the parents will be excited because in their head the structure that exists in a corporate space grants them stability even as parents, but then the risk that comes with entrepreneurship grants them the thought of, like, is our daughter safe when we're not here? So I'll charge it to domestication and culture, right? And the danger now is, as people that are discussing about this, is how then can we change the narrative? Because truthfully speaking, right? Truthfully, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would love to see a person that's a billionaire from their 9 to 5, like without an extracurricular activity generating income, which we can term as entrepreneurship. You get what I mean? So like I would love to see that. So what's then our charge as the next generation of parents, the next generation of CEOs? What's our charge when it comes to raising our nieces or our kids? What are we telling them about the corporate space and the distinction of the entrepreneurial space? Are we separating them or making them mutually aligned?
Okay. I think my first thing would be, please be innovative. Please, modern day problems require modern day solutions. Every single day that we wake up, somebody is creating something new. I remember watching a TikTok of this person that said, first they said, I hate seeing people funnier than me. And then they said, I hate seeing people do something that I saw it, but then I didn't really think about it. You know, so I think moving forward, we really need to encourage people to try to be as innovative as possible, but also not limiting them to the fact that people are very different. So maybe let's let the kids pick what they want to pick. You know, let's encourage them to do whatever it is that they feel comfortable. But my only thing is, please, if you're going to do something, make sure you're the best at it.
Yeah.
That's
sure.
it.
Nice.
Make sure
how
you're
do
the
you
best
become
at it.
the best at it?
You learn from people. You listen more than you talk. You read.
Yeah.
You become open. Because I think if you're not open to newer possibilities, it's very hard to see, beyond what it is that
what's
you're
in your
taught.
peripheral,
Again,
yeah.
as you said, growing up, all you were told is your brother got A's.
Yeah.
You have to
You need
get
to
A's.
top that, yes.
Exactly. So, for you, that's the world that exists. And it's a structure that you're very comfortable in. So,
Yeah.
you don't allow yourself to explore other things. I'm grateful that my parents are very, very flexible. But I won't lie, even my mom just said, go to school.
Mine are not flexible.
I'm so dead. Mine are very flexible.
Yeah.
But they just said, please go to school. And when I asked why, their thing is, Leah, academia will never fail you. When I tell you guys right now, this is the first saying it on the people's internet, on Beyonce's internet.
Yeah.
I'm looking into starting my PhD.
Oh.
Because my mom said academia would never fail you.
Nice.
Like a light moment. Like for me, my family, it's even funny. When it comes to school. Any person that doesn't do well at school, they go to the farm. And it's like, even like when scaring your nephews and nieces, you'll be like, hey, chief, you want to go to the farm? Like, please do well at school. So yeah, that's on domestication. Benny, how do you think we'll debunk the myths that exist between the suits, the guys with the suits, and the guys with the startups?
I think to make them more aligned, we can just look at it as stages. Because I think every stage equips you with something. Like she said, you have to be good at anything that you do. Obviously, I won't take it back to the kid level. It's a grassroots level, which is important. But I think at that point, it's more of exposing the kids to more options. But obviously, school should be the center of it, because we have to learn why we learn, not necessarily for the sake of going to school, right? If we pick out the reason why we go to school, okay, we want to learn how to communicate. We want to learn how to do a lot of cognitive thinking and being able to solve more problems, right? So I think that is necessary. But as we are doing that, let them explore different options, let them try sports, expose them to things that are dealing with media, cameras, obviously at a restricted age, because we're in a space that can go, but yeah, that's at a childhood level. But when you get to a point of like being in the corporate space, learn the skills. There's something that I picked from Stephen Bartlett in the book Diary of a CEO. He said, for you to succeed at anything, you need to fill your buckets in the right way, right? Which is, the first bucket is knowledge. So when you know something, you gain the skill, right? And when you gain the skill now is when, and those are things that can be taken away from you, regardless, because it will teach you how to understand and navigate through anything. But now getting to a point of aligning entrepreneurship and the corporate space, like I said, I think it's necessary for you to be able to be in a system, learn from the system, see what you can adopt from the system, and now you can explore. Because if you are an entrepreneur, we have to remember that there's no knocking off. Like, that becomes your lifestyle. So it would be unfair if you spend majority of your life in a space that you don't enjoy. So make sure you learn and identify what you enjoy and be able to take on for the rest of your life and migrate. I think ultimately I'll take entrepreneurship as the end goal or the channel that you get to, because you've got more control. I feel it's more fulfilling, subjectively, of course. But I feel if you have more control, it's like you have got a baby that you're looking at, which is growing and getting into something. So I think it's more of stages in life and like a destination.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because you're saying, we're picking up skills. So then how do we... Other jobs are very structured. Like if you're a doctor, I think it becomes hard.
It becomes hard.
So how do we then allow for people to either have like a retirement plan or something they'll do? Because most people, now my mom's like hitting retirement age. I think should be very bored. So then how do we encourage entrepreneurship even in spaces that look like you can't really do much from the skills that you have in there?
Okay, Kumi, I like your question. That's a very good question. And if you bring it to being a doctor, if you enjoy helping out people, because I think the main reason why you're a doctor is because you want to save lives.
Yeah.
Being a doctor in that space is you're working through a structure.
Yeah.
But when you emulate and copy the structure that you have and try to make it, because the whole thing that we're trying to talk about is here, being an entrepreneur, you are starting a whole system or managing a system.
Yeah.
So with the knowledge that you gain from that, start your own thing that you can have control over. So you can have a mobile hospital. You can have maybe educating people through media and other spaces to educate and help people in ways that you can.
Yeah.
So I think for being a doctor, that's what I can think of from the top of my head. For other things, I think I would have to think
No, but
a bit
that's
more.
a gem. That's
Thank
a
you.
gem. Like, I didn't even think about it like that, but that's a gem.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely showing us that in whatever field or structure you work in, you could always do something outside of the structure.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, dope conversations. I think there are some things that I've picked out from what you guys were saying, especially about a structured environment like medicine, right? Where you're working. And I know when we're having conversations like this, there are things that are easier said than done.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because when you look at a medical personnel, there's exhaustion that they're on their body, right? So then the debate is, what time then do they have to think outside their box when the career that they have is so demanding that they can't partition their mental state? You get what I mean? Let's say you're a neurosurgeon, right? You've got a person that you need to work on, a person's brain that you need to work on. Chances that post that you're thinking about how to open a mobile hospital are very minimal, right? So riding on what Ben has said, I think it now comes to us changing the curriculum of our entire education system. Not entire education system, but a facet of it. So if let's say a person is studying medicine, like you said, there should be alternatives that help them they can be investing in businesses. You get what I mean? Say you can invest in a bond. You're not necessarily an entrepreneur, but you're growing finances, so that you're stable. You can invest in an entity. We saw how CEC has grown to $1 billion company, if I'm not mistaken. So imagine how people that were investing there are feeling in terms of wealth generation, right? So for me, my chat is, and I will have a gray area here, is that there are times when the entrepreneurs are not born, right? They are made.
They're made,
But sometimes it's okay to just pick one aspect of your career and give finances to people that are worth growing that income for you. You get what I mean? Because it's not always that you have to take center stage.
True.
Because entrepreneurship is the light shining on me. I'm the director. I started a company. Blah blah blah. My friends, I'm better than you. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? That's the myth that's there. And then the corporate space also is like, academically, I've got this academic prowess. I was better than you. You dropped out of school. That's why you started a business. But I think sometimes it's okay to be like, dude, like, I love accounting. And I love this 9 to 5 and I want to grow here and eventually be a director in this entity or be a managing director and eventually sit on boards. And that's how I see my life progressing. So bringing it back to where we are at, I feel number one, it's okay. It's okay to be an entrepreneur and a corporate person. It's okay to be in the gray area. It's okay to be a corporate person. And then number two, I think I like what the government is doing with our education system. They brought in stuff like leadership, stuff like entrepreneurship. Because recently a friend of mine had a very valid argument. He was like, we learn about Zinjanthropus in like grade school, right? But we are good exporters of copper. You go through grade school without knowing how to process copper. Like, you don't know what's the... Imagine you go to a different country. Imagine you go to a different country. You're from Zambia, right? Proudly. Then someone asks you like, hey, dude, your country is one of the greatest exporters of copper. What does copper look like?
I don't...
Guys, like,
even like, I was maybe two years ago old when I realized it was like a powder foam thing.
I didn't even know that.
Somebody showed me like a powdery thing. I'm like, how does this then turn into,
into a
like
cathode.
copper cathodes and stuff?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think I get what you mean.
Yeah.
We really don't learn about. I get history. It's important to know your history.
It
But
is.
how about we also focus on the future? We also focus on the present.
Yeah.
Maybe let's not even go to the future. Let's focus on the present.
Yeah, because the danger in not learning, guys, lies in us making mistakes that are so grave. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And because we're in a generation that's primarily focused on upgrades, right? We are unaware of the future that we're creating for the very people that we're saying we're going to call our children.
Yeah.
Let's say we pass on every lesson that's Western, nothing bad with it, right? But then remember, we are sustained by some of the ethos that our parents gave us.
Yeah.
Like across all of us here, we've reached this far because maybe your mom used to spank you, or your dad was about spare the road or spoil the child.
Yeah.
But then as you grow, systems are changing and we're losing some of the key values. And the word is key values,
Yeah.
right? As generations unravel. So what we're applying to entrepreneurship and the corporate space now, ideally, I think it's important for us to even apply it to other areas of your life. If your mom was praying for you, pray for your kids, right? Yeah. If your dad was then present at home,
Be
pick
present.
someone that's a present father. There's no telling, but at least pick for the signs. You get what I mean? So I think that's just my chat around I'm trying to spin this from entrepreneurship to our daily life.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think I like how you've put it.
Yeah.
And
It's-
ultimately, I think I would like to bring in the aspect of the Maslow's law, like hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about what you feel is making you feel more like you have purpose, right? You can be in a 9 to 5 earning good money, but if you feel like at the end of the day
It's not satisfying.
it's not as satisfying,
It's not
then
where
what
you
we're
wanna
doing
be.
is so I think the why to why we do things is the most important thing. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love the chat. And our last question here now, encapsulated, because we can go the whole day.
True.
Try and chat.
Of
We
course.
can even pass an hour. But the last question that's here is, what advice would you give a Gen Z professional torn between building something of their own and building inside an institution? So on the professional side, I'll give it to Ben. What advice would you give a Gen Z professional? Then Leah, what advice would you give a Gen Z entrepreneur who's not in the gray area, but for them it's like, I just want to be an entrepreneur. That's fulfilling, and that's what I would tell.
Okay, I think to a Gen Z corporate or aspiring corporate, or are they in the space yet, or
You can
Could
pick
be
it.
either or.
Yeah.
or either or? I think ultimately is you acquiring knowledge. So find out in the space that you're trying to be, learn how the ladders are, learn the politics, or not politics, but how people handle one another in the corporate space. Aside from that, learn from people who've gone ahead of you. Like, try to identify certain individuals who you feel maybe could mentor you in that space. Learn from them and just keep moving. Aside from that, if you wish to stick to the corporate life, to the corporate space all the way till the end of your life, please don't go against the entrepreneurs. If you find stability and peace, you know,
Good.
and in being in that space, please embrace that as you show grace to the other people who are doing. It's not like they failed at something.
Yeah.
They think they're better. You know, it's like transporters. You know, it's like people who help us clean the surrounding. Without them, we can't work the way we work. Without transporters, I feel if every transporter today would just say tools down, would feel
It's
the impact.
chaotic. Yeah.
We feel the impact, right? So let us understand that we all have different roles that we feel we can enjoy. So even as you're in that corporate space, as you're trying to see how you work through the ladder, just ensure that you learn from the people above you and ensure to do your research.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
Thank
I
you.
love that. I think I'm going to look directly here.
Yeah.
I think first start by building sustainability. You know, as we've said, even Apple was an idea, you know, but what has made Apple to be what it is right now is sustainability.
Yeah.
So anything, trust me, anything can grow. I've had friends that I've seen their businesses grow, but I've also seen how they have invested in the right people, how they've invested in, like they've done a proper risk assessment of the things that they want to do. They've invested in diversifying their businesses. Even with Apple, again, started with an iPhone, but now we have so many Apple products, and people want to have the whole ecosystem. So when you actually understand that from the one idea that you have, please know that you could grow it into multiple ideas. This might be a little free promo, but I love my girl. I have my friend, one of my closest friends, Katongo. She started 99 Fashion Closet. So for her, when she started that, it was a boutique. Then
what's
she,
her handle?
it's 90. Yeah. Please do 99 Fashion Closet. Then after that, she realized, okay, people want to deliver stuff. Whenever I would buy something, I would have to tell her, okay, you know what? When I come to town, I'm going to pick it up. She realized, oh, maybe I could start a courier business. So she started, 99 Courier. Then after that, she would always go to events, and she started picking up those small things about events that she said, okay, maybe I could do that. And she planned a lot of her own events, and she started 99 events. And then
nice.
People were buying her stuff, and she said, okay, maybe let me start a wholesale. So now she has a wholesale. So you see how basically it's now she has a group because she has different umbrellas.
Wow.
So whatever it is that you do,
Shout out to Katongo.
Yeah.
no, that's my girl. So proud of her. But so the point being, whatever it is that you do, whatever business you start, make sure you know what your sustainability plan is going to be. Because today it could be that people don't want to wear the clothes anymore, or it could be that people don't want couriers anymore, but you have other parts of your business that are running. And know that entrepreneurship is, oh my God,
easy.
it's not easy. It takes a lot of dedication. It's a job that's constant. It never stops. With a 9 to 5, I'm so glad I could really just log off. I could log off, or I could just say I'm not feeling well, or I could say, okay, you know what, I went to the hospital, I'm sick, or can I get leave? And then my supervisor will handle that, my workmate. But when you actually want to be an entrepreneur, you need to know that you are the supervisor. You are the one that cleans the floors. You are the HR, exactly. You are HR, you are finance. So actually learn as well. What you don't realize is you need to learn, because if you can't even do your taxes, then what are we doing? Because then you're going to employ somebody, and what if they're not doing your taxes correctly? Learn about small things that make an actual business grow. That's the only way that you can build sustainability. Invest in the right people. Invest in the right people. That would be like the last thing I would say.
Wow, I love how you guys have talked about a corporate space, how a Gen Z can navigate, and an entrepreneur. My chat really is, from everything that I'm hearing people pursuing purpose, right? I think it's Miles Monroe that says, wherever purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So wherever you see a visionary, you can try and argue if you want, but wherever you see or a built vision, there's a person that's purposeful. That's just what I think. Because imagine Jesus coming here on earth and not being aware of his purpose. There were a lot of naysayers. You get what I mean? There were people that hated him. And I think I was telling this to Belly recently, to say, if you want, I called him early in the morning, and I was busy battling this thought in the morning, and I told him to say, I think it's time to have haters. Because I was doing a study and I noticed that almost every successful person has people that write bad articles about them, and that's publicity. And I was chatting to him, I don't know if this is a stretch, but I was telling him to say, imagine if the Pharisees loved Jesus. He would have never gone to the cross to fulfill his purpose. So sometimes the hate it's calm, like
it's okay.
Hate,
no, charge
it's
it.
nice. It's calm. So I think when you know your purpose, it's easy to be a visionary. So to everybody that's in the corporate space, or everybody that has an idea of being an entrepreneur, just know why you're starting something.
Yeah.
Your purpose is your backbone.
Of course.
Because even when people say this won't work,
Yeah.
look at Chandabrian, look at Chile. We had Mumba here, we've
Yeah.
got Destro, we've
Yeah.
got the Apple guy, now we have Leah here. We've got a couple of our friends that are doing amazing things,
Yeah.
right? And it's easy to quit if purpose isn't the backbone that you're falling on, because there'll be days that are not amazing. And they are coming. You
Yeah.
get what I mean? So my conclusion is, on top of you being aware and learning from people, and you coming up with a system, and investing in the right people as well,
Yeah.
have purpose as well as an umbrella that navigates everything. Good chat. Good chat.
I
Sure.
loved it. So guys, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. The conversation, it doesn't end here.
Sure.
Maybe we catch a little heat, but I hope everybody actually took some of the key things that we had to say. It was a great conversation. I loved being here. I can't wait to come back. When am I
glad.
coming back?
And we'll discuss
We'll
that.
discuss.
No, thank you. Subscribe to Voices and Choices. Leah, it was amazing to have
Yes,
you.
please.
Yeah.
From myself, Kelly Kels,
Leah Butala.
Betty.
we're signing out.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you guys. Bye.
How is it?